Right. So in the last 10 years, Avenged Sevenfold became a huge band. And when you become this big, besides a lot of fans, you also have a lot of haters. And when you release a stage, there was a lot of people saying that, oh, they prefer the old Avenged Sevenfold albums, blah, blah, blah. Do you still try to see or read or pay attention to what everyone says about the band on social media or the press, or do you just want to stay away from all that?
Oh, to be honest, none of it's ever bothered me. We've been getting it since day one. The first review our band ever got when I was 17 years old, and we had just released our first EP. Uh, in a tiny little magazine, wrote a review on it, and for that month, we were the best album of the month,
Hmm.
and we were also the worst album of the month. We won best and worst album of the month in the same magazine. And right then and there, I was so happy and thrilled. And because if people hate what you're doing, it means you're doing it right. It means you're in front of them. It means they have an opinion. Uh, Not everyone's gonna love you. Not everyone is gonna like what you do. And you see a lot of people. A lot of people don't want to let go of the bands that they love. They don't want to move forward. They don't want to let new things come in. They're scared of change. They're scared of new bands taking over their genre. They're scared of you know they're just scared of change. And those are the people that are the most vocal online, and they bitch the most, and oh, this band sucks, they'll never be as good as so and so. But the reality is we're headlining a lot of these festivals around the entire world, and we're selling out concerts everywhere we go. And we put out a surprise release album that was considered, our worst, or one of our worst selling albums, and it's still one of the biggest rock albums of the entire year in the entire world. And that was our worst album. So, I think as long as people have a strong opinion, whether they love or hate us, I think we're doing something right.
Yeah, totally. So as you mentioned, a lot of the festivals have you as a headliner, not only in America but also here, also in Europe, and the whole world. So, with all these bands retiring now, like Black Sabbath or Scorpion thinking about retiring, a lot of rock titans just thinking about, well, saying goodbye. Do you think that bands like you, like Avenged Sevenfold, are here to replace them? Like, do you think that you can get that status that those bands got on the 80s?
It's hard to say. We're very, very fortunate and to be able to play these shows that we're playing, but it's really, it's important for a band like us to go out there and put on the best show that we can, and that means you know blow stuff up and play loud and give the fans their money's worth. It really needs to be a show, and it's taken a lot of these bands their careers to get to the level that they're at. I mean, Iron Maiden and Metallica are bigger now than they ever were. I mean, they're playing stadiums across the entire planet, and even though it seems like their heyday was back, when MTV and the radio played their songs all the time, the truth is they've gotten bigger now because they play all the time, and people know that they're going to get a great show, and it becomes almost like you get different generations. You'd have, dads bringing their dads, and people bringing their own sons, and entire families coming to the concerts, and that's why there's so many people. So for us, we're still young. We need to go out there and give it everything we have and play as best we can. And I believe that if if we're able to persevere and have the longevity of some of these classic bands, then hopefully someday we'll have the same sort of legacy that they do.
Great. So, last year on the Total Guitar magazine, you were voted as one of the best metal guitarists in the whole world. So how that makes you feel? I mean, do you really consider that you are that good that you can be on a list of the best guitarists around the world?
I definitely don't think that I'm one of the best guitarists in the world. I, there's, I never ever think of myself as being a great guitarist. I don't even think of myself as being a good guitarist. I just am a person that grew up loving music, that wanted to make noise with my guitar, that loved writing songs. I love playing concerts, and I love performing, and I'm very, very passionate about it. So one thing that I think that I do have is, I've never taken a guitar lesson in my life. I never cared about any of that. I just care about music, and I care about the way that it makes me feel. I care about concerts and what the bands that I've seen, what the great guitarists out there, what they're capable of doing. And if I'm able to even have a small percentage of that for our fans, then I think it's a really great honor. But as far as technical abilities, and I couldn't even tell you I don't even know the names of chords. I've never even learned them. If you told me to play an A, I wouldn't even know what it is. So it's a little bittersweet for me. I think it's awesome that a guy that's never taken a lesson can be regarded as one of the best metal guitarists. But all you have to do is listen to someone like Dimebag from Pantera, and it's that just I never ever would be able to compete with someone like that.
Yeah. Well, does Avenged Sevenfold gives you everything you need as a musician? Have you ever considered a scapegoat to do something that you really love but you think is not suitable for Avenged Sevenfold?
Oh, absolutely, all the time. The one great thing about Avenged Sevenfold is our style is so unique that we always do. We can always add and incorporate different crazy music. So it's not just just thrash metal or just hard rock. We're able to incorporate all sorts of styles of music, and that's great for me. But on top of it, there's I love punk rock, and when I go and see a band like Bad Religion, I think to myself, wow, it would be so fun to just start a punk band just for fun. Or I've always loved really mellow, almost sad music, just acoustic guitar, sad, and I always write songs like that at home, just for fun. And maybe someday, I put some of it out, but it's hard because when you're known for being in a band, like Avenged Sevenfold and having some success, you're instantly judged. Whereas if I was just 18 years old and no one ever heard of me, I could write these songs and put them out to the world, and no one would have any expectations. But now, because of who I am and where our band is at, it's really hard to release music without everyone judging it for something that it's not.
Well, just to finish the interview, is there any chance to see you playing any of the cover songs on this tour? Like, for example, Malagueña Solerosa, which will be very special to see you playing that in Spain.
I think there's probably a pretty good chance that we might play that for all the Spanish speaking fans out there, because it'd be a lot of fun.